government be able to win this war as they take it on? Well, but before we do that, we've got money for you to win. So, yes.
Money, 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 and more money. Okay, you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. It's daily winning here on
Autonomy and the unresolved issue between states and local government. Today on A's and Nays, we are looking at local government finance from a perspective of federal government and state governors. Of course, the federal government has decided to take state governors, all 36 of them, to court because of this issue of local government financing. And they're doing this because they want the local governments to be able to function autonomously as it should. Professor Richard Aduche Wokocha is a professor of law at the River State University in Port Harcourt. Professor, it's so good to have you join us. We missed you last week.
Thank you very much. Great pleasure having you here today.
Great.
And good evening, Nigerians.
Thank you. Let's start by there's something that my guest said in my last conversation on local government autonomy. He said that why are state governors not called autonomous? They all are sovereign, and there's no need to add autonomy to it because everybody has their financing, so they're supposed to be able to function independently. So I'm going to ask you that same question. Why are they calling local governments autonomous?
Well, the Constitution did not use that language. And when they talk of local government autonomy, they are simply referring to system of financing in which the local government receives its funds and is entirely responsible for how it administers its funds or how it uses its funds in administering development. As I said, the Constitution did not use that term. And however, if you look at Section 7, which talks about the local government, I am afraid it does not guarantee autonomy of the local government. It makes the local government a part of the state and gives the state to determine quite a number of things about how the local government will be, its existence, its character, its tenure, its financing, and all of that. The only thing the Constitution guarantees is that the system of local government shall be by democratically elected government. So that's the only guarantee. But it recognizes the local government as a part of the state government. You don't have that kind of provision relating to the state relationship between the state and the federal government. So local government autonomy simply talks about the attempt at achieving the elusive autonomy, independence, as it were, of the local government from the states. But the Constitution did not design it to be so. And let me add this, Mimi. As a matter of fact, in governance and in constitutional law, in federalism, it is rare to find a system where the federation is divided into 3 tiers. The reason is simply that what you call the local government is the local issues of the regional tier or the constituent parts of the federation. So if that's the case, you do not need another independent authority under that. Take, for instance, if the local governments are completely independent, what is the territory you call the state? And where does the state spend this money on? So the local government is actually an instrument with which the state should administer development within its territory. All over the world, there are only two countries that have a three-tier system of federation, Nigeria and Brazil. So it's more of an aberration than the real thing. Proper structure is central government, regional government. The regional government determines how many local governments it needs to be able to administer development effectively within its territory. And it will have to utilize the funds due it from the center and internally generated revenue to do what it needs to do. So you can't have three tiers. It's actually abnormal for a federation, an effective federation. You will render one tier redundant.
So you're telling us that this battle that the federal government has taken on is a losing battle, because if you're saying that there's no three-tier government, the constitution does not recognize it, on what grounds is the federal government taking the state governors to court then?
What they are desiring to do is to get the Supreme Court to help them do what they think is the objective of the draftsman of the Constitution, which is creating a third tier of government. But as I have explained, in normal federalism, that third tier of government is usually an internal issue of the state. The anomaly we have here is that the center gets involved in determining creation of local governments. States can create local government, but it must receive approval of the National Assembly before it will be listed in the Constitution to be funded by the federal government. That's because we have the absurdity of federal government funding local institutions of the state. Now, if we didn't have that federal participation in funding and in approving creation as it were, we wouldn't be having this problem. But if you look at the language of Section 7 of the Constitution, what it does is create the local government as an instrument with which the state should act. So it puts it in the hands of the state to create the local government and to determine those issues concerning the local government, specifically the local government, composition of the local government, finance and functions of such local government councils. It says it is the state that will create and determine these matters. So if that's the language of the Constitution, where will you find the autonomy you want to grant? It means that the proper thing to do, and the only way you can actually go about it, is by amending the Constitution to take those things off the hands of the state. But while the Constitution remains the way it is, we are asking the Supreme Court to rewrite the Constitution or to set aside the Constitution. And remember that that was part of the argument that was raised over Executive Order 10, that the Supreme Court said, no, the president was wrong. It's still related to this same issue. So certain, the Constitution provides in Section 120 for setting up of state joint accounts, state local government joint accounts.
That's the JAC account.
Unless you amend the Constitution and take off that section or modify that section such that it no longer exists in the way it is now, you can't ask any court to reverse what is written in the Constitution. So it looks like a lost battle. The only useful things I see in that battle are the prayer for preventing the state governors from dissolving local democratically elected local councils.
Sorry, we're losing you because of your network. Your bandwidth has reduced. But yes, I think one of the most important thing is dipping their hands into the cookie jar of local government. Professor Wokocha, if you can hear me, we have lost the connection with you. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
All right. Just do me a favor. Can you exit the meeting and come back in? Because I think that we're having a connection issue. If you can just quickly exit and come back in. Yes. All right. Thank you very much. Well, we're still talking with Professor Richard Aduche Wokocha, and we're revisiting this time from a legal standpoint the battle between federal government and state governors on local government financing, not necessarily autonomy, but financing. Why local government monies should be used to help the local government as opposed to the state governors grabbing it and running with it. And this is the bone of contention. Professor Wokocha, before you went on that break, I'm so sorry, you were trying to talk to me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? No, I think you're muted. Can you say something, Professor? Oh, you think it's from us? All right, we'll take a break and try to fix that. Stay with us. It's A's and A's 99.3 Nigeria Info.
That matters to you.
When you marry, you don't cheat.
The most common drug that damages the liver is paracetamol, what we call acetaminophen. Paracetamol is just paracetamol. I can take paracetamol. No.
Do you know I've been monitoring elections since 1999? Rigging of elections takes place not at the polling unit, but at the collation center.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. This is your number one station.
99.3.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Millions of listeners trust us on Hard Fact. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories. You know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, we're back. We're trying to fix the audio problem that we have with our guest, Professor Richard Aduche Wokocha. Professor Wokocha, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Perfect. Hallelujah. Before we lost that connection, you were saying, I was also saying that what is most intelligent or most important in that suit is governors not using local government funds for other than what it was prescribed for. But how can the court determine that?
Well, the actual intention of the Constitution is that the state joint account should warehouse funds due to local governments and release them to the local governments. But that's not what has been happening. So what the states do is they receive the fund and then they do another budgeting and determine what goes to the local governments. But that's not what is supposed to be the case. That state joint account is only to warehouse what is due the local government, which should eventually go to them, just like what is due the judiciary and the legislature, which should also go to them. The full amount released for them should go to them. So they are not contributions for the state to receive and reallot how they want to distribute it and all that. No, they are specifically directed at the persons to whom those funds are released. So maybe what they will do now that they are before the Supreme Court is see if they can get the Supreme Court to make that pronouncement that, look, this is the intention of the Constitution and it is a violation of the Constitution for you to receive it and realign how the fund is to be distributed. Because the purpose of sending that fund to the joint account is not for you to use it as you like, but to you to simply receive it and release it to the owner.
Let me talk about the local government chairman here, or the local government authorities in themselves. Is there a possibility from a legal perspective for these local governments to sue state governments on the same grounds? Because like I told my guests the other day, we've seen a local government chairman in Ogun State vilified for stepping up, speaking up, and speaking against government, saying, look, the state governor, Dakwa Abiodun, that he was dipping his hands into the coffers of the local government. And we all see where that led him to. He was, impeached by his fellow, what do they call them? Councillors in the House. Yes.
Councillors,
yes, the councillors who make up the parliament at the local level. And many would say that, they did this in cahoots with the governor of the state because obviously he controls their financing and they would not want to, not have access to that financing. So can local governments truly take the state governor to court?
Yes. As elected officials of the local government area, yes, they can sue. They can ask the court to determine the appropriacy or propriety of the state spending money due local government. They can do that. You and I, as citizens and as taxpayers, and as people covered by local governments, can also sue. We have sufficient interest to do so. So yes, the local governments can, but I'm sure you understand why they are not doing so clearly, because of the overbearing influence. If you check the laws made by the various states for administering the local government, there are provisions giving authority to the state government or the state government to sack local government chairmen, to suspend them. There are provisions for the local government, for the State House of Assembly to take such actions, directing the suspension of local government chairmen and all that. So in the face of all that threat, you definitely have issues with local government chairmen being bold enough to be able to challenge the unconstitutionality of what they are facing. Okay.
But just as you said, if the governor is controlling their bread and their butter, and this is leading to a lot of failure or abandonment of projects in those local areas, they're obviously faced between the rock and a hard place. So it's either they want to take their principal to court, or they would just bear the consequences and continue to take the peanuts that they're given. But let me ask you, how did we get to this point where governors have assumed, the office of a principality and a power of sorts over the local government?
I think we got here through a larger problem, which is the problem of the inability of the voters' vote to determine who gets elected. Now, if our votes we are counting all this while, we can tell a governor you are stealing from local government funds, and for that reason we won't return you at the next election. And a governor who sees that citizens who will determine his fate are complaining about his conduct with respect to local government existence, he will stop his action. He will respond appropriately, unless he wants that to be the last time he's going to run for election, whether as governor or senator or anything, because the electorate will not forget. They are like the internet that does not forget. So if you fail them or disappoint them, they will hold it against you anytime you come out for anything. So it is the inability of votes to count that has created this all-powerful state governors who determine who becomes local government. They even determine who becomes senator, who represents the state at the Senate, House of Reps, and any other position. So if we make our electoral laws work, and we make the citizens' right to vote as an electorate determine who emerges as its leader, we will make every other thing right, because government will become not just responsible, but responsive to complaints of the electorate.
Lovely.
So I think it lies with our ability to make the votes count.
All right. I love how you put it, but we're going to go on a break quickly. When we come back, I'm opening up the phone lines because Lagosians and, of course, Nigerians have questions about this whole local government autonomy, local government financing, and would like to hear your thoughts, Lagos. So the phone lines will be open right after these messages. Professor Richard Aduche Wokocha is still with us in the studio, joining us via Zoom from Port Harcourt, River State. And, of course, I am Maryann Okon. We will be right back with A's and Nays. Stay with us.
If a leader is not informed, he's bound to be deformed.
So many organizations don't even have a workplace sexual harassment procedure or reporting channel. So if there's no place to even report, how do I even report these issues?
AstraZeneca and Moderna vaccines cannot be mixed.
You cannot say bring that one too.
I cannot say bring that one too. Make I just manage them. No.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Information at its peak. This is 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm listening.
This is Hard Facts.
There's a reason why over 1 million people tune into Hard Facts every day. We discuss in-depth stories with sources behind the facts.
The Lagos State High Court has convicted, suspended the Chicago certificate story from never going away, is it?
The amazing seasoning cube. So when you're cooking your delicious meals, don't compromise. Go for gold.
Rich, consistent taste for cooking mouth-watering soups, stews, and jollof. Choose wisely. Choose Gold. Terra Gold Seasoning Cube.
One cube, endless possibilities. Terra Gold.
We can protect your car, your savings.
Let's not make it boring. Let's make insurance a lifestyle. If you've ever wished your insurance offered you more, then you're in good hands with Hares Insurance Group. In addition to our extensive insurance coverage, you can also enjoy free benefits such as networking opportunities, up to 10% discount on hotels, gyms, spas, and your favorite stores, tickets to exclusive events, and free resources to plan your future. So, next time someone asks you, what does your insurance company give you, sir? Your answer should be with Hares Insurance Group. Definitely much more than insurance.
To enjoy all these, sign up on www.hairsinsurancegroup.com. That is HEIRS. Hares Insurance Group. Simple life is here.
Big Boo Rice. Big Boo Rice, yeah, in the pot. 7 it up as they hot. Stone free premium parboiled rice. Big Boo in the pot. So nutritious and tasty. Serve it up with style. A cooking delight for that great party jollof rice. Big Boo Rice, yeah.
Big Boo long grain parboiled rice contains protein and fiber, a source of vitamin B, and is great for all rice dishes. Big Boo Rice, tasty rice, nourished you.
That special secret that awakens taste buds. Mouth-watering wonder with awesome aroma. Terra Seasoning Cubes.
Terra Seasoning Cube turns your meals into a masterpiece.
Unwrap joy, unleash taste. Hey, come cook with Terra Cubes. Come cook with Terra. Creamy goodness.
Enjoy the delicious creamy goodness of Cowbell. Cowbell contains Vitarich and vitamin B9, which supports brain development. Use Cowbell in your tea, cereal, pap, and other meals of choice. Cowbell, so creamy, so good.
As a mom and a dentist, I know the importance of strong teeth, beautiful white smile, and fresh breath. They give you the confidence to eat the right foods without worry. Speak confidently in public, and making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent's Triple Protection 1, 2, 3. It's 3 toothpaste in 1. To protect their teeth from holes, give them white teeth and fresh breath. The confidence of 3 toothpaste in 1. Pepsodent's Triple Protection 1, 2, 3.
Mom's love is pure. It's so no she does. Mom's special jollof puts a smile on your face. Mom's yummy fries cheers you up. Mom's tasty stew nourishes the family. Golden Terra oil, tasty. Golden Terra oil, nourishing. Golden Terra oil, Golden Terra soya oil.
Golden Terra Oil helps Mom poured her love in the tasty, nourishing meals she cooks for her family. Golden Terra Oil, pour pure love.
Who says you can't have it all with one play? I got that defined boy. You have just won yourself.
Congratulations.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Melitus. One player, don't talk to two players because you won 20K.
So now you won yourself 20,000 naira. My name is Well Done. Okay, well done. You want to tell you well done? You won yourself 20,000 naira.
With 500 naira, you can play to win big. From 120,000 naira to 190,000 naira daily on Nigeria Info. Go to oneplay.ng and play with 500 naira. And in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. Or dial *347 *880 *3 hash. Win daily on Nigeria Info. 50,000 naira on Morning Crossfire. 60,000 naira on WhatsApp Lagos. 20,000 naira on Sunnyside. And 60,000 naira on Game On. So Lagos, what are you waiting for? The more you play, the better your chances of winning. Remember to dial *347 *880 *3 hash. Play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18.
If you get the big dreams to do big things, lonely day is red money. If you get the big dreams to do big things, lonely day with red money. If you get the big dreams.
Get loans of up to 7 million naira on Rain Money. Call 0700 5000 500 or visit rainmoney.com to get started now.
What takes a plate of jollof rice to the next level of goodness? Is it when it is cooked with no seasoning cubes for that sumptuous taste? Or when you serve it with correct Nigerian salad, cabbage, carrot, lettuce, and a bit of kidney beans?
It's both. Season your jollof with the rich taste of Knorr cubes and serve with plenty of vegetables. So, go ahead and elevate your meals. Today, eat for good.
5 Alive Poppy. So much pulp. So many ways to pulp it. He gulps it. She chews it. He slurps it. Filled with pulp in every gulp, everyone pulps it their way. So, how do you pulp it?
Hello, Mrs. Martins.
Yes. Oh, Mrs. Johnson, how may I help you?
Junior's body temperature is high and he's complaining about headaches and body aches.
Not to worry. Get Bruston and suspension.
Okay, ma. I'll call you back.
Bruston and Suspension for Children is a sweet-tasting brand of ibuprofen which provides relief against toothache, pains, and fever in children after 30 minutes.
Hello, ma. Oh, Junior, stop that.
Is everything okay, Mrs. Johnson?
Yes, ma. Junior is fine now. In fact, Junior, sorry, ma. I'll call you back.
Brustin and Suspension for Children. Always take the product after meal. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor. A quality product from Rambaxay.
Chinedu! Don't worry, Ma. He'll be home on time, just like his dad. I'm cooking their favorite jollof with Sonia tomato mix. They are here.
Hey, is that jollof ready?
Right on time. Your loved ones will always rush home for tasty meals prepared with Sonia tomato mix.
It's so good eating together with a family.
Yes, Ma.
Sonia tomato mix brings you together. Proudly Nigerian.
Are you finding it difficult listening to your favorite talk radio Nigeria Info via the mobile app? Come closer. Let me fix that for you. Now, launch the app on your device. Click the 3 lines on the top left corner of the app. Look for settings in the drop-down menu and click on it. Turn on the first option that you see. Make sure you turn on the option that says always use highest quality available audio. Now that you have done that, close the app and relaunch it. Voila! I did it! Oh, sorry, you did it. Now you can enjoy your radio anywhere, anytime. Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
I love my job as an HR manager, but I also love my weekends because I get to relax, spend time with family, and catch up with all the latest TV shows. But it's hard to relax when my phone is always buzzing. I have to sort out health-related issues for my colleagues because our HMO account rep is unreachable. Imagine my relief after signing with Reliance HMO and I have not received a single call from a colleague about any weekend issues. Even better, they can't stop telling me how glad they are that we've switched to a healthcare partner that's there when we need them. Now, I can finally enjoy my weekends, confident my team is cared for. Thank you, Reliance HMO, for giving me back my weekends. Sign up with Reliance HMO today.
For more information, call 0201-700-1580. Reliance HMO, the next generation HMO for business.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey. And when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of Knorr seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
We fit protect your car, your savings.
Abeg, make you no let her dey boring. Make we make insurance we lifestyle. You don't even hungry, you say make your insurance give you pass wetin you dey collect. Make you check body at all because na good hands you dey with Health Insurance Group. Come even join with boku insurance coverage. You fit also enjoy free awoof like chance to fit network up to 10% discount for hotels, gyms, spas, and for that your store where you like for the shop. Tickets to enter show events plus free materials to carry plan your tomorrow. So next time when person ask you wetin your insurance company dey give you sef, your answer supposed be with Health Insurance Group. Of course, it plenty pass just insurance.
To follow Choplet all these, sign up onto www.healthinsurancegroup.com. That na HEIRS. Here's Insurance Group. Simple life they here.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste it and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Very.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy for you. It's so milky. I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids the new Milo 3-in-1. Milky and creamy. It's truly milky. It contains calcium to help your champ win every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! Get in on the action with Kano, your exciting destination for sports betting. Enjoy an award-winning experience with amazing betting options, cash outs and missions, as well as other features. Join now and get a welcome bonus of up to 200,000 naira. Betano.ng, the game starts now.
Hey, my friend, have you heard?
Heard what?
The grand finale of Weberbank's 5 for 5 promo season 3 is happening on May 31st.
Ooh! Over the past 9 months, Weberbank has visited cities and dispatched an incredible 81 million naira to over 1,000 lucky winners.
That's right. Everyday people like you have become millionaires. Whether you're a student, a business owner, or a hustler.
The 5 for 5 promo is here to make your dreams come true.
Imagine what 1 million naira could do for you.
Pay off those bills, start a business, secure your future.
It's so possible with Weberbank 5 for 5 promo.
All you have to do is fund your Weberbank account with 5,000 naira.
Make 5 transactions.
And keep an average balance of 5,000 naira.
It's that simple.
The next millionaire could be you. Remember, May 31st is the grand finale.
Weberbank's 5 for 5 promo.
Empowering lives, transforming futures.
Mommy, my teacher said 90% of my brain will develop by the time I am 5.
Really? What else did she say?
She said I need iron in my food for my brain to grow well.
Oh, very true. And that's why I give you Cerelac Junior every day, which provides half of your daily iron needs.
And Cerelac Junior tastes so good.
Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus. It's all good, Mom.
To correct food, they always give me joy. That's why anytime when they cook like this, I they always season them with Knorr cubes. Come add correct vegetables inside. Ugu, tatasheo, shombo, onions. No one wey I no dey put. Na im make my pikin dem dey always enjoy my cooking.
Daddy, I never available. I want more.
You see? Sama all your food with correct vegetables. Come season am with no cubes for that ogbonge delicious taste. Today, chop better.
There's a reason why over 1 million people tune into Hard Facts every day. We discuss in-depth stories with sources behind the facts.
The Lagos State High Court has convicted, suspended the Chicago certificate story. It's never going away, is it? Show with stories for the day.
You hear diverse voices and opinions.
And she was busy campaigning with her husband, knowing that. You should not put happy because there is nothing to happy about.
Yeah, it's quite pathetic the way the country is going.
We distinguish each story accurately with analysis.
It is Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, we're back from that break, and we have about less than 20 minutes to take your thoughts, to take your comments, and of course, we still have Professor Richard Wokocha in the studio via Zoom with us. Of course, questions, comments, observations, and of course, what worries you the most about the viability and, of course, the responsibility of our local governments if the states have so much hold over them. Join the conversation 0700 0201 277 0993 0201 277 1993 0201 277 2993 and 0201 277 3993. Join the conversation. You have 60 seconds. Hello. Welcome to A's and Nays.
Yeah, Action Lady. Good evening.
Mr. Chris.
Yeah, Prof. Good evening, sir. Prof has said it all. Our vote never counts. Whereby you have strong men all over the place instead of strong institutions. One man will determine who will be a local government chairman. Then the governor will choose who will be a local government chairman. Look at the Jebu East one they suspend the other day. Is it not the same councillors from his local government that suspend him? Governor will give them whatever they want to give them. The chairman himself will corner the one he want to corner. As far as we don't have strong institutions, we have strong men, we'll be going through all this. Local government chairman those days, salary how much? 70,000 Miriam. But today, go and check the post of the local government chairman. As far as we don't have independent candidates and our vote never count, we all are in for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chris, for calling. I do appreciate it. Hello, welcome to A's and Nays.
Yeah, good evening, Miriam.
Good evening. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
My name is Abdul Ziko.
Abdul, go ahead.
Yeah. Your guest has tried a lot, but he forgot to say something. The judiciary in Nigeria is taking us back because whatever we do, we vote. When we get to the judiciary, they will turn us down. Example is the recent Kogi State election tribunal. There was alleged that they collected 6 billion naira, and the initial this thing was rewritten. It was right. It was written in favor of SDP, but when they collected the money, they rewrite it against the current governor, in favor of the current governor, which is very bad. What we are passing through, Yaya Bello is on the run, and the judiciary is still robbing us. So your guest should talk much about that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Professor, would you... this is a direct attack on your constituency, sir.
No. He's right. You know what happens when the courts are not appearing to address what people feel is justice of the situation. It causes people to resort to self-help. And the first reason why we have the court system is so that we won't have to resort to self-help. So yes, we are having a lot of issues, but I think that's a talk for another day. We're having a lot of issues with the quality of justice we get, and especially how the courts, especially at the high court level, have made themselves available as political tools in the hands of politicians. That is an issue that needs to be addressed, but I think that's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
For today, we are talking of the issue before the court in this matter, and it's purely a matter of law. And let me draw your attention to Section 7, subsection 5, subsection 6B, which provides that the states shall allocate funds from public revenue to the local governments within their territory. Now, the states have leverage on that provision. That's Section 7, subsection 6B. The House of Assembly of a state shall make provisions for statutory allocation of public revenue to local government councils within the state. The states have leverage on this provision to argue that money that comes into the joint account is for them to determine how it will be distributed. Now, the true position is that the Constitution is saying public revenue in the state, which is IGR generated in the state, and any other funds due to the state from any investments the state has, is public money. And the House of Assembly shall provide for how they shall distribute it, because that money is owned by the state government and the local governments as well. So that is what that section is referring, that subsection is referring to, but they have leverage on it. So it's purely a matter of law, and the Supreme Court has previously made pronunciation on a number of the issues that are before the court in this particular case. As I said, you have had the issue of Executive Order 10, and the court has said one of the prayers you are seeking cannot be done, which is...
Oh, I'm so sorry, Prof. You're frozen. You're frozen, Prof. I'm so sorry. I know this is a network hitch. But once you're unfrozen, we will come back to you. Let me try and see if we can take... Oh, okay, you're back.
Yes, I'm paying... Okay.
All right. Sorry, we lost that connection for a bit, but let's go back to the phone lines. Hello?
Good afternoon, Maryann. Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Malik speaking from Ikorodu.
Go ahead, Malik.
Maryann, do you know my problem with all of this?
What?
At the end of the day, the same governors with some senior SANs, then we go to court. Before you know, that case will be withdrawn because the senators then that were appointed by the governors to run for election, we do everything possible for that to not to hold water. And do you know I'm angry now? The lawyers that know that it is wrong, they will still stand for them to defend them for it not to hold water. But the only person I'm pitying now is the Senate president. If this thing should fly, will be able to run for next time election in his own area. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Malik, for calling. Let me take another call quickly. Hello.
Sorry, please. This is Joy.
Joy, turn off your radio. I can still hear myself.
Okay, I've left.
Go ahead.
Okay, yes. So mine is this: what is happening with local government and the governors? It's something that's happening with the judiciary and also the executive. None of them are really independent as they say they are. But my own is this. For me, I feel the Constitution has a whole lot of lacunas and is not working for this democracy. I feel the Constitution is our major problem. It needs to be scrapped. Let us get a new Constitution that talks on the democracy, the true democracy. A lot of things are not actually the way it's supposed to be. We're talking about our votes not counting. Now, the executive is the person that appoints the election, what's it called? The INEC chairman. So what do you think will happen? He will not be independent, of course. And they say he's independent in electoral commission. But to me, he's not. So the Constitution is our major problem. A faulty foundation, no matter how you want to beautify it, paint it, whatever you do, it's not going to still make the house not to collapse when the time comes. So the foundation, being the Constitution, needs to be outrightly changed and not all these small things they come to do. They say they are doing a constitutional review or whatever they are doing.
Okay,
so
Joy. Thank you very much for calling. But then, of course, someone is disagreeing with you that Adesina in Omogorewo says, Adesina Omogorewo from Lagos, Ikorodu says, concerning your topic, I think the issue we're having as a people is not the Constitution, but the people we put in positions of authority. They misinterpret our Constitution for their own advantage. And he says this is sad. Interesting. I can take one quick call before I let the prof in. Hello.
Hello, Maryann. This is Memnon from First Start.
Hi, Menno. Go ahead.
As the late great Rotimi Sankoro we said, our constitution is not a problem. There are countries without constitutions that are working. So for me, I would say apart from the people that are putting is also what we as a people tolerate too. We need to learn at least to push back. But in Nigeria now, it's almost like these politicians, when they wake up in the morning, they just listen to MC Hammer, can't touch this. They will do whatever they want and we'll talk, then we'll go back to sleep. We need to be able to put more pressure on them. That's why I see it. It's not the constitution. There are countries without it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for calling, Menno. Hello. Turn off your radio, please.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling
My
from?
name is Wokocha. I'm calling from Ekotun.
Go ahead, Ugochukwu.
Yeah, I totally agree with your guest. The problem of Nigeria is constitution, which other callers have said. The constitution said there shall be 3 tiers of government, and listed it as federal, state, and local government. And in some other aspect, he listed all the 774 local governments in Nigeria. The same constitution now still gives Lagos state power to create local government, which the present president did when he was the governor in 1999 in Lagos State. And that is the problem he had with Obasanjo. Obasanjo said you cannot use funds meant for 20 local governments to go and be funding for the 37 newly created LCAs. The same constitution also gives states power to conduct local government elections. The local governments cannot work. They are at the mercy of the governors. So I totally agree with him that we need to overhaul the constitution of Nigeria before we can have an independent and democratically elected local government functioning very well.
Okay.
Good evening. Have a nice day.
All right. Prof, I will just crave your indulgence to take one quick call and then in 1 minute we'll wrap up this conversation. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Maryann.
Good evening. Turn off your radio, guys. Come on.
Yes, this is Uzoma, Maryann.
Uzoma, go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
Thank you. These central government you are talking about, are they making impact? Are they not the ones forging all these election results? Are they making impact? If they are making impact, they would have been in existence. Even the local governments, look at the roads. They're not even doing their work. They'll just go to Abuja, go collect money and eat money. They won't do anything. If they are making impact, if they are relevant, they will be there as relevant people. Thank you.
All right, Uzoma, thank you very much for calling. Prof, let's deal with, of course, the obvious. You and I have had several opportunities here to explain the duties of all the tiers of government down to the legislature, both at local, state, and federal. But it still seems that many people don't understand, the duties of these different governments. But then the most occurring denominator is that people are saying the local governments are at the mercy of the governors, and these things will never ever change. Are you hopeful?
I'm not hopeful that the structure we have now will ever work. The reason is that it's an absurdity. The local governments are local areas of the states. They are supposed to be instruments with which the state administers development, how it is all over the world except in Brazil, which shares the same anomaly with Nigeria. I think the conflict lies in the provision of Section 7.1, which authorizes the House of Assembly of the state or the states to create local governments and determine their function, their structure, their finance as well. And then in the same Section 7, subsection 5.1, you now find the same constitution saying that the National Assembly shall make law providing for disbursement of public funds to the local governments inside the states, created by states. That is where the conflict lies. Make local government local. Make them structures of the state. Let the House of Assembly take care of what the governor does with the state fund and ensure that it's equitably distributed to local governments in the state. Take away the hands of federal government or national government in local government matters.
Okay. Well, I guess that this is the best advice that you can give to governments across the 36 states of the Federation. Make local governments local. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. Professor Richard Aduche Wokocha is a professor of law at the River State University in Port Harcourt. Thank you so much, Professor. We always appreciate you for coming to educate us on A's and A's. Thank you, sir. Can you hear me? Unfortunately, the internet has frozen yet again. Well, Lagos, there you have it. We'll go on a break. When we come back, I'll say my proper goodbyes. We'll be right back.
There's a reason. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.